So this morning I woke up pretty well, despite the fact that I was pretty much high off of the energy of gamer subs. I was also a little bit buzzed with my pineapple and peach wines that I was drinking. Pretty all good, right? Well, Game Awards really just soured my mood as soon as I was going to bed because everything about the Game Awards was just it was bad. Like there was more bad than good. But I want to basically, before I get to the good meat of it, like the bad, I want to say at least some positive things, one mixed things, and well, then we get to the bad. The bad is the one that I really want to talk about. So the good. I actually liked that you know, old gods of Asgard were there. The music was really good. Uh yeah, that's pretty solid. Some of the announcements for world premieres were pretty solid. Monster Hunter Wilds is, really, kind of out there. I'm crossing my fingers. Please, let this be crossplay. It would be so fun to play it with friends. It really would. Just on different ecosystems, please. But there was some other good news as well. So Sega is going to go back to the games that they had before. Crazy Taxi is one of them. Jet Set Radio. Pretty much a lot more. They only showed off a few things, but yeah, you know what? That's kind of ballin'. I like that. Jurassic Park Survivor actually looks pretty good. It kind of looks like Jurassic Park Trespasser, which hey, if you make it work, then hey, I'll give you money. Uh, was that it? Is that seriously it? Yeah, that was it. There wasn't like anything that really made me like kind of like jump up with joy. I wasn't like, oh man, it's so good. I could not believe it. It's like it just felt kind of like the trailers were just kind of shoehorned in, and I think I understand why. To kind of put it bluntly, I feel like Jeff really wanted the GTA 6 trailer to appear in with the other world premieres as like the big finale. I don't think Monster Hunter Wilds was supposed to be the finale. I think it was originally saved for GTA, but because Rockstar was like, "Nah, we'll do GTA 6 on December 5th." Yeah, it wasn't good, and plenty of other like well popular games like Halo Infinite, Warzone, even some of Fortnite. It's pretty much were like, you know, we're showing off the goods. We're here's the goods. Like it's just not a good look. It just made I feel like Jeff really was crying just because of like, oh god, I'm missing out so much good stuff. That's why he was like just spoiling a lot of the stuff. Like it's so embarrassing. He was like spoiling Atlus's newest game. He was like just there was another game that he spoiled. I'll try to find that tweet, but like he just was going wild. I had to stay off of Twitter because he was like trying to get people excited, like, "Oh, guys, come in here! GTA 6 is here, but come on, guys, get in here!" But overall, I feel like the world premieres like aren't really bad. Like it's not their fault. Oh, there is actually one more. Pony Island 2 is happening, which is wow. Okay, that's cool. I can't wait to see what kind of strange thing this is. uh, is that seriously it? Yeah, that's seriously it. Now we get to the mix. This one's the one that I think a lot of people were very vocal about, and it was Pizza Tower not winning Best Debut Indie. And well, I get it. It's like, Pizza Tower is the one game that everyone, seemingly knows. But then just everything else is kind of like, I don't know what they are. Cocoon won, by the way. And honestly, I don't care if it won or not. I think Pizza Tower winning or anybody else winning is like still like a good thing. Like it isn't like something that's like, oh, Pizza Tower should have been the only one to win. It should have been. It's like, no. Like Pizza Tower is a great game, but so is every other game. It just seems unfair that like, oh, we can't support these other indie games, but this one, the one with the funny pizza man, now that's funny. That's the one that deserves it. It's just, it's not good. I feel like everyone in the indie space was like really well deserving of an award. But the thing is like, even if they didn't win, I feel like they still should feel like they are, they're still winners. Like, even if they did not win an award, it's still so amazing to have them just be in the seats, be with the hundreds of developers there. It's a big achievement. Like, yeah, okay, getting an award seems cool and all, but no, that should not be the thing that gets people excited, you know. It's like the developers just being there, just being in this moment, having to have been selected as a nominee and sitting in the chairs with hundreds of many people like them and many icons that are just, you know, their inspirations. Some of them are their inspirations. It's like, it's a big deal. I feel like that's just the whole thing. Just, it should be not about the awards, it should be about developers just having that moment, having that grand moment. That's what it should have been. Uh, a perfect transition to the next one because this one's pretty garbage. So basically, to put it mildly, the reason why this thing was mostly bad was because this thing felt so much like, oh, what's the right word? Consumerism and advertisism. It feels like that. It feels like it was just more of, you know, just advertisements than the developers, and it really does show. Like, oh my god, it's so bad. Like, I had to look this up, by the way. So basically, I was right in the fact that, like, okay, so basically, to put it mildly, some people did some math and some calculations, and this tweet here pretty much just shows like how bad this whole thing was and how everything was rushed. It was more about the advertisements and anything else, but not the awards, like not the awards at all. And that's what just really just, pardon my French, it really pisses me off that that is the reason for why, like, it's so like crappy. It's because it was more of favoritism of the advertisements than it was putting the thought and care and, you know, the respect of developers. Like, bro, I don't even know where to begin. So basically, to put it mildly, they put a timer on on the developers, and you might be asking, why did they do that? What logical sense is there to do that? There is a reason. So last year, Christopher Judge did a 7 minute and I think 40-second speech that lasted pretty long. He was thanking everybody. He was basically being a cool, sweet dude. Nothing really bad, right? That's the problem. There's nothing really bad about that. But last year, Steam was doing a big thing where, oh, you could get a Steam Deck if you tune into Steam and watch the Game Awards. Every minute, a person can win a Steam Deck. It could be you, but the thing is, I think because it took longer, they had to sell more Steam Decks than they were willing to sell. So therefore, Jeff probably got into a lot of trouble. And now that there was Steam Deck and Legion, I think that's what they're called. I don't really know. They're like a Switch knockoff. He had to like put a whole crack on everybody. Like he had to make sure that nobody, and I repeat, nobody had a speech that was longer than 30 seconds. Like it is actually disturbing. Like, bro, I don't know how to explain this. So Neil Newbon actually won an award for his role as Asterion. I never played Baldur's Gate 3, but I want to, so I could know that name and I could basically say, I'm sorry, Neil, for butchering your character's name. But Neil won an award, and I was very proud of him. And, you know, he was all happy and everything. It's just, I realized it was so short. It was feeling like everything was just running by so shortly. And then I looked up what was happening on Twitter. Some, like, prompter was, like, on there, and they would count to, like, 30 seconds or something, and then there's a prompt that says, please wrap it up. Like, this is one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen in my entire life. I actually, like, I spit in disgust on the ground because, oh my god, that is the most foulest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. I just want to say this, by the way. This wasn't just for, like, you know, Neil or you know, this wasn't just Neil and other, like, you know, small indie teams. These are like for legendary people. Like The legendary director of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, he was being told to wrap it up. Now keep in mind, he doesn't speak English well. So he has a translator. So you have a man who is basically, being translated, and you're having him like here see those letters. Please wrap it up. How disgusting. How actually disgusting, Jeff, that you did that to somebody that is an icon. Like what? Why? Why on God's green earth did you do that? That is like that. It's insensitive. Like it is so demoralizing. It's so embarrassing. Like it's not his fault that he can't speak English well. Like you're like, bro, you just make things so worse because you have a teleprompter making people be like, oh, go long, too long, just keep going, keep going. Like 30 seconds? Because that's what people are saying. It was like 30 seconds or so. And like you have just people saying like, oh, it was 30 seconds and nothing more because of like advertisements and because of just it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing for people who don't speak English and embarrassing for people that win the award, go up to get on stage and be all chipper and happy, but then what? It's just oh my god. And I saw a tweet about this where basically it showed the Game Awards 2016 where if you remember the game that Dragon Cancer, it won an award. I think it was for best indie. I don't remember what it won, but it did win an award. The dad got up on stage and he was basically like looking in his note on his phone. He was like, in tears. Like he was basically like so proud that he won that. He was like he was crying, like seriously crying, and I always get teary eyed when I like watch his speech because it's so like gut wrenching, but it's so like uplifting. He basically did it, for his son who passed away from cancer. Like this whole story was, about the son and the parents and just how they were feeling and dealing with, a serious issue with one of their children being diagnosed with cancer. It's like it's a serious thing. So imagine that dad gets up. He only has 30 seconds to say something. That is the most deplorable, like horrible, like shit I have ever heard in my life. The fact that you put a timer on people is so bad. But it's not just that, it's the hypocrisy. So you give developers like 30-second window of like, oh, say your thing, do whatever, get out. But you give Hideo Kojima and Jordan Peele and every other celebrity 5 minutes and more of just talking about this new thing that they're working on. Like, no offense to Hideo Kojima and Jordan Peele, it's not their fault. Same with Matthew McConaughey. It's like, it's not their fault. They want to basically show off a game, and Jeff was like, okay, sure, you can do it. But it just feels so bad. Why are you giving these people, especially, Hideo Kojima, your best friend, Jeff, why are you giving him the special treatment, but yet everyone else gets like, not just get like scrub of dirt. That's all you get. Just scrub. It's just so disgusting. It's so like unnatural. It feels so bad. And like, I could not get behind it because of how awful everyone was just feeling, Jeff. Like everyone felt awful. Like why would you do this? Why would you do that to developers if the whole point of the award ceremony is for games? There were other things, but I think I know the reason why he was also rushing this. Not just because of Steam and Legion. Um, Apparently there is a protesting going on at the Peacock Theater. Basically, it was everyone protesting pretty much about the game industry. Basically, if you don't know the whole story, thousands of people, like 6,000 to 8,000 people, were laid off. Like everyone was being laid off in the game industry. It's a terrible year. It was awful. So pretty much, it's pretty embarrassing to see that like protesters are saying something outside the doors, but not you, Jeff. You don't talk about it. You basically just act like, it's nothing. It's just nothing to worry about. It's like, bro, You told people to vote with your wallet when Activision Blizzard was caught in like a horrific you know lawsuit. It feels pretty disgusting that like okay, you'll talk about that, but you won't talk about this. So you won't give like sympathy to the developers. It's like, Jeff, do you even care about developers anymore? Do you even care about video games anymore? Because it feels like it's more of like the Muppets, it's more of advertisements, it's just more of this and less of developers and the people that worked on it. It seems like whether it's small time indie devs or major like icons in the gaming industry, it's like, bro, it's either they're Hideo Kojima or not. It's like, oh my god, it's so embarrassing. Jeff, it's so embarrassing to see you do this to yourself and do this to developers. To have it be that this Game Awards is more of Winter E3. That's not my saying, by the way. That's that is an actual thing that many people are saying. Many people, not just regular bystanders. The Verge, Kotaku, everything. Oh my god. That is so this is so funny. It's so disturbing that Kotaku and The Verge and many other articles are being correct, Jeff. Like no. It should not be. It should not be Winter E3. Jeff, you have become the very thing that you're against. Like you hated how the video game awards were like, but you're starting to revert back to what you hated. You're reverting to the video game awards, which was more of advertisements and more of like manly men stuff. And while you don't have like women in body paint revealing the awards, it's like you're still like putting less care into the developers and more into advertisements. Like, bro, is that what happened? Did the advertisements control your show or did you basically control it? Because I don't think it was you. Unless you were really money hungry, then I could see it. But I hate it. Overall, I hate it. Like, you had a big moment and you blew it. You blew it horrifically to the point that, and this is going to sound crazy for saying this, I'm not going to be like watching the Game Awards next year. This would be my last because oh my god, this was embarrassing. Unless you 100%, not 99.99%, 100% change everything about this year's Game Awards and do it way better for next year's. Less advertisements, less world premieres, more focus on the developers, more focus on them. They are the big spotlight, not the world premieres, not the big shiny Samsung gaming stuff. Like, no, you can have your advertisements, but not have it be taking the majority of the show. It's the developers, it's their speech. Let them talk for like 2 minutes and 30 seconds max. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's a plenty enough time for them to say what they want, basically thank whoever they want to thank. Let them be happy. Let them be proud of this moment. Not be so like full of emotion. And they have to like go crazy with their wording. It's just Jeff, you seriously let me down. You let everyone down. You let developers down. How are they gonna like appear next year because of this shit? Like, you really expect developers to come back next year after how you treated them? How you basically were like, up 30 seconds, no, you don't get anything else. It's like, nah, fuck that. That's no, I don't like that. Developers don't like that. Jeff, if you're not gonna give them like 30 seconds and you're just gonna make them just be like, oh, please wrap it up, we gotta continue on with our advertisements of Google Play. It's like, nah, nah. They shouldn't join in, and I shouldn't be watching it. I'll let people decide what they want to do. I'm not going to force people to like stay and watch it's or not watch the Game Awards. But like I'm not watching next year's. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. If you're not going to treat developers with respect, I shouldn't treat you with respect. This is the last video I'll talk about the Game Awards, unless like something really major occurs, like Jeff like fully apologizes. He's begging on his knees. He's like, "Look, I'm sorry. Please, I will not do this again." But he won't do it. He will do it again. He's not going to apologize for it. He doubles down. That's exactly what he does. So pretty much I'm done with the Game Awards. This was something I always like watched as a big event and support of developers, like, you know, seeing them like win and like make a big speech and just be so proud of their work. It's like I can't watch it anymore because developers don't have time. If they don't have time to give their big like speech to inspire thousands of, you know, millions of viewers, why should I waste my time watching it when you basically don't give them the time to talk? So yeah, I'm sorry this turned into a rant, but I'm mad. Uh, yeah. So next year's I'm skipping. Same thing with Summer Games Fest. I'll just catch up on Twitter. What's going on? I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna waste my time on it. I got better stuff to do for next year. Yeah. See you guys.
That little smile he has, that is years of training.
Awesome. Thanks, nigga. All right.